with another video, folks, where we're going to be looking at this food photography image. I'm going to go through the lighting setup, the lights I'm using, how you can create a little bit of drama in your food photography and add texture to your images in just a matter of minutes. So we're all set up, ready to go. I'm going to quickly walk through what we're using. I'm shooting on the Nikon Z6. I'm just shooting with the 24-70. It just makes it easier for us when I'm on there. I normally shoot with a 100mm macro lens, but for this shot we're shooting at 70mm on the Nikon 24-70. Camera settings are going to be f8 1/200th of a second, ISO 100. I'm going to be firing the camera remotely, and I'm just going to pop up the images on the screen so you guys can see them. I normally shoot tethered, but just for the purpose of this video it's easier if I just shoot it wirelessly and pop the images on the screen, so it gives me a bit more freedom to move about. So we're going to start off with one light. Now the idea behind this shot is to create some sort of kind of sunlight, window light. That's what you try to recreate every time we use off-camera flash and artificial lighting. So that's what we're going to do. But I want to create a bit more of a drama in this image, a little bit more shadow and highlight. So it kind of just gives it a little bit of something different to the image. To do that, to achieve that, we're going to start with just one light. We're only going to use two lights in this image, so we're going to start off with the first light, and we're going to be using the Pixapro City 300 Pro, and I've got this on a snoot. Now the idea of using this on a snoot is so I can kind of really hone in the light on the main focus of this image, which is the bowl in the centre with the peppers on top. And that's going to give us kind of a natural vignette around the side, and when we add the other elements later on, it'll work really well. So I'll switch that light on and I'll take a test shot and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll switch the light on so I can see where the shadows are falling. Now what I want to try and do is create the direction of light from the window. So this is going to be my direction of light. And I'm looking at the shadows now. I'm trying to see where they're going to fall. And I'm trying to get a kind of a symmetrical theme going with the shadows, so it's all falling in the right direction. You'll see what I mean once we start taking some shots. So I'll take this first shot with this 300 Pro and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll pop that on the screen so you can have a look. Kind of looks alright, it's nice and plain. Shadows are really dark though because we're using a really small point light source, and there's a reason for that. I'll get to that. But if I don't want them shadows that dark, what I need to do is add another light as a fill. And what we're going to do is add the City 600. I'll bring that round, switch it on, and we're just going to put that in an easy open softbox, and we're literally just going to stand that behind, directly behind our key light, if you like. And what that's going to do, I'll take a shot and show you. I'll pop up the image now with just the small point light source of 300, and I'll take a shot with this and I'll show you the difference. You'll notice the difference straight away. Now what that's done there, you can see that's lifted the whole overall exposure of the image, but also lifted the shadows. So we're using both these lights in conjunction with each other to recreate that look that we're going for. But we're not finished yet because we've still got a little bit more to do. So as it stands, that's just a nice clean image with nice direction on the shadows. I really like the look of that. And we're shooting on a grey PVC background from Pixapro. Really great backgrounds. These are PVC, so they're waterproof, so easy to clean up. But I'm specifically photographing on a grey background, which I'll get to that at the end of the video. I'll show you why I'm doing that. But now the reason for using the small point light source is because I want to create some drama. And what I'm going to be using are these. These are the shadow casters from Pixapro. Essentially they're just gobos which go between your light source and your product, and what this is going to allow me to do is just cast shadows across the image. And I'll show you that now. So I'll pop this down. Now the key with this is to try and get those lines kind of matching the way the shadows are falling. You don't want them kind of going off to the side because it will look rather awkward, so there'll be a little bit of a tweaking about. But with the modern lamp on the 300, you can see exactly where those shadows are falling, and you can kind of get them lined up how you like the look of. So we'll take a shot and I'll pop that on the screen. It's quite effective. We've still got the focus on the actual bowl itself, but it's just adding a little bit of extra to the actual image. Now the top of the image is a little bit bright, because obviously all of the light's hitting it, but I want to diffuse that light a little bit more. And the way I do that, using these little homemade scrims, really great and handy to have. So I'm just going to place that below the shadow caster, and that's just going to create a bit of a shadow, just a case of tweaking it until so that shadow's falling just on top of the chopping board, and this is going to kind of resemble hitting the window ledge, and then obviously the shadows are casting over the top of the food. So we'll take a shot and I'll pop that on the screen so you can have a look at that. And you can see there, it's just creating a nice bit of drama to the image. And that's a super simple setup. But we're not finished there. I'm specifically shooting on a grey background because I like to add my own textures. And I'll quickly show you how you can do that in Photoshop. So we'll take the image into Photoshop, and because we've shot on a grey background, this is going to be really easy. I'm going to grab one of my textures from my texture pack, which is available to download on the website. I'm going to drag that into Photoshop, and I'm literally just going to change the blend mode of that texture to overlay. And as you can see, instantly it's just created a lovely texture on the grey background. But obviously it's created a texture everywhere, and we don't want it everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a mask on that layer. We're going to invert that mask so it takes away the texture, and then we're going to paint it back in on the layer where we want it, and it's just on the grey background. So as you can see, that just took a matter of minutes to add a texture to the backdrop on that food scene. Now this is really great because the 72 textures downloaded in that pack, and you can add many different textures. You can overlay them, make something completely unique. So if you do shoot with just plain backgrounds and you want a textured background, this is a great way to do it in a matter of minutes. There you go. That is how you can create mood and drama to your food photography in a nice, easy way. So I hope you like this video, folks. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. And I'll see you folks in the next one. See you then.